review committee meeting. Oh, my mic's not on?
No.
Did you hear that?
That's on.
Yeah, it's on. Okay, now we'll start over. Welcome to the PACE Review Committee meeting tonight, and my name's Bill Ohlendorf, and I'm the chairman. And I'm going to take roll right now, and I'm going to go with Kara Fox.
Here.
Jim Bartlett.
Here.
Carl Tyree.
Here.
And Bill Ohlendorf here. Donnie Bond is not here. With that being said, we don't mess around, we get right into it. So what we do is we take everybody's application, we look at it, and we listen to what they have to say and what they're doing, and if it's within the realms of the historic board and all that, and it's within the realms of what we do, we have a matrix that we fill out and give you points for so many things that you do. And at the end of the day, we add that matrix score up. Everybody's got their own individual scoring. We average that out. If you meet the criteria minimum, then you qualify. And then once that's done, then that goes ahead and gets passed on to the Board of Works for approval or denial. This doesn't mean it's approved, it just means it's passed us and it's on to the next step. And then Nicole then takes over there, and she's the one that handles all the funds, and the only time you get the funds is if you turn the receipts in, and you can't have anything done ahead of time. It has to be done after this meeting. And you show her the receipts, and then if it's still within that realm that you applied for, then you get your money back. So, hope I explained that well enough. Does anybody have any questions right now? Did I talk fast? Yes.
How long does the entire process take? So tonight you're gonna meet and you're gonna submit.
Probably about a week.
Yes, so the Board of Works meets next Monday, so you'll know Monday afternoon whether you have full approval or not. Most of the time they don't change the vote from what the board recommends. So you'll have a good idea tonight if you stick around towards the end. So I'll let you know next week, and then you have a whole year to complete the project.
Okay, great, thanks.
The other thing I might mention too, this is about beautifying Madison and making Madison a better place, but it's not about remodeling homes. There's a difference here. In other words, if you have structural problems and you can't really get a foot on how to get them fixed and all that, that's what this board's for, is to help you get started. But to come in and want to remodel something just to make it look nicer, you might not get a high enough score to pass. I'm just giving you a heads up, okay? So, because we don't really do regular maintenance like roofs and all that kind of stuff, but we do really help anywhere from structural damage in the basement all the way up. Wherever it takes to get that house back to normal, we're really to help you, but we're not here to remodel your house and make it look pretty. So I'll make sure you understand that. So yeah, that depends on the scoring as to when you tell us what you're doing with it and all that and what we're going to be for. With that being said, if there's no more questions, we'll go ahead and get started. Does anybody have any more questions? Okay. Well, the first applicant here is Old Business, and it's an amendment to 1063 West Main Street. Who's representing that? You might give us your name and then tell us what you're up to, okay?
All right, that'd be me, John Shearing.
Okay.
I applied for and received a PACE grant last January, February, I guess it was. And what happened was one of the items, well, that included in the PACE grant application some coating to a standing seam metal roof, changing out the modern style gutters and downspouts with the original half round ones, and then taking off the vinyl siding and doing some work to the existing exterior walls and replacing that with either LP or hardy board siding. The estimate that I had when I submitted the application for the siding work was preliminary, and when the final numbers came in, they more than doubled. So the reason for my coming up and getting the application modified is I'm not going to do the siding. I'd like to only do the roof and the gutters on the house instead.
Okay. And
I want to reduce the scope of work.
And it was approved the first time, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so what you're asking for is take some of the work off of your list?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's no sense going back and rehashing everything again on that.
Unless you want to, I think I could speak to about anything you want to here, but that's...
We won't be doing a matrix on this part of it because you've already been approved.
Okay.
So what we'll be doing is saying yes or no on that. So
Okay.
I think it's pretty clean cut. Do we have to write that down, or can we just say it?
We'll need a motion
A
to
motion.
amend it.
Okay, somebody want to make a motion?
Well, before you do, So with the change in your project, from a dollar figure, what is the scope of the project now?
From a dollar figure, it's being reduced from 22,480 to roughly $8,000.
Okay.
John, is that total?
That's roughly total. The numbers are essentially what you can pull from the previous application, which would be the amount for the roof coating is $3,986.99, and the gutters are $2493.89.
So your grant amount would reduce as well,
Absolutely, yes, sir.
from the 7,500 on the original grant down to, I guess, $4,000.
If that's the way it works, if you're doing 50% of my application, I guess,
Yes,
is that the way it works?
yes.
Any participation that you want to share would be welcome. So,
I think, Nicole, won't you hand this on an individual basis as the receipts are turned in?
Yes.
that's just like any other PACE grant, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we make a motion now? Somebody wanna make a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve it.
And I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay,
Thank you, John.
thank you.
Good luck. Okay, the next one here is 713 Main Street. Is someone here representing that? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Did they call you?
I talked to him previously, he knew he was supposed to be here.
Okay. 1026 West Main Street.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Gary Garino, 1026 West Main. I have a front porch that I'd like to get repaired and rehabilitated. It's 1830s, the house is, but the porch has been added on during the years, sometimes don't know when.
Okay.
But it's deteriorating to the point that all of, again, the joists of the foundation has been water damaged, and I'd say animals has also moved in a couple of times during these past few years and kind of tore some of the foundation loose, and that needs to be redone. And otherwise, due to the holes in the roof that have occurred during the years, water has now leaked into and it's come down to the roof, to the top of the, not the roof, but the ceiling of the porch, and that's starting to deteriorate. And of course, the whole porch, the floor, and all from the water damage and the damage to the foundation is all getting deteriorated to the point it's basically really unsafe.
Is
So
it,
I'd like to get that done.
Gary, is the roof fixed above the ceiling, I mean above the porch now where it doesn't leak, or is it
No.
still leaking?
Still.
Does anybody have any questions for Gary?
Do you know how old the porch is, Gary?
I can't say, I don't know. I know it wasn't original, I'm sure.
Sure,
But,
I just didn't know if you knew when.
I'd say it's gotta be back in the 40s.
Okay. And you live there, right?
Yes.
Okay. And, see, there's points, all these points add up here.
Is that a front porch or back porch?
Front porch.
Front porch?
It's a small porch, it's only 10 by 6.
Yeah.
It's big enough to sit out on evenings.
I think I saw you sitting out on it the other night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw you sitting out there on it the other night. So the total project is gonna cost, what is, the total bill on that was gonna be,
1900.
how much?
1900.
1900. Yeah. Wow, any more questions? Anybody have anything? Good? Okay. Well, Gary, we're gonna go ahead and fill the matrix out on you, and then we'll turn that into Nicole, and then we'll go on and she'll contact you, okay?
Great.
Do you have any more questions of us?
No.
Okay.
Well, quick question, from a materials standpoint, are you pretty much going back with what was originally there then?
Yes.
Obviously not original to the house, but original to when the porch was built?
Yes, best, best we can to keep it the same.
All right, Gary, thanks so much.
Thank you all.
Okay, the next application is 1010 West Main Street.
My name's Kathy Taylor. We live at 1014 West Main, and we bought 1010 West Main because I've had my eye on it ever since I got here. And it has sat there for 2 years without siding.
Oh, yeah.
And it's such a cute little house, you know? So another idea I had, when we took the, I don't know if this even matters, but when we took the plaster off in the living room, we found that the original window was like 7 by 3.5, 2/2. So we ordered a window to go back in to match that, and we're gonna put the original door back on.
Was this siding and everything on there when you bought it?
No.
This
Been
was
like that
something
for
you
2
all-
years.
you all did?
Oh, no, it's been like that for 2
Yes,
years.
well, I'm saying, so when you bought it?
It
this
looked
was
like that.
It looked like that, okay.
Mhm.
So I just had to clarify that.
And we're going back with LP siding.
Okay. And that's all, I guess, approved by the historic thing, board and all that. Well, this is pretty straightforward to me. I don't really have a lot of questions about it. Jim, you wanna ask something about it?
Yeah, what's your plan for it once you've got it done?
Well, if Rick gives me trouble, he'll have to go over there and stay for a day or two. But honestly, we'll probably Airbnb it. Either that or one of the kids may eventually live there.
Okay. And the whole project's not, how much was it? I can't.
17.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot, was it?
Mm-mm.
That's pretty straightforward to me. I don't really have a lot of questions about it. It's a cute little house. I hope.
Isn't it cute?
All those houses down through there, I mean, Gary lives right down the street there, you know?
It's-
And
yeah, I
it's all
know.
just really cute, yeah. So it's great for Madison that you're doing that. I can't remember, who was there before you?
Morrison's had it, that own the garage door company,
Yeah,
Good Cities.
and who lives next door to you on the other side? It was,
Richard and Kathy something, which is kind of funny because we're Rick and Kathy. And on the other side, we got Jenny Redwine, the only kind.
yeah, 'cause there was one of those
But
houses
that's owned
right
by
there.
Todd Calvert owns 4 of them.
Okay,
He's got us on both sides.
okay. No, it's gonna be really nice. Does anybody have any more questions? Anything? All right, well, thank you so much. Next one here is 615 Mulberry Street. Someone here representing 615.
Yes. So my name is Matt Finley. I'm from Seymour, Indiana. Been doing work down here for about 10, 11 years with Brian Martin. We got an installation company.
Yeah.
Just kind of fell in love with the town and ended up finding some property for sale from Judy Collier.
Taylor.
Taylor, okay.
Yeah.
And ended up buying it from her. The house actually was approved, I think, before for the grant. We're gonna go in and redo the whole place and bring it back to original. Rebuild the whole house from the basement all the way up. And then eventually build 2 new houses next to it, too, on the corner lot there.
Oh, you have that corner lot also?
Yes. And Brian's doing all the plans up for all 3 properties for me, so.
Boy, that whole little corner's starting to shape up down there.
Yeah, I hope so. We're gonna make it nice eventually.
And you're going to do, what are you gonna do with the property there?
End up probably selling maybe 2 of them and keeping 1.
Okay.
We really haven't decided. We might sell all 3 of them, but,
You're talking about, you're gonna sell 2, you're gonna build 2 more?
yes, 2 more.
But the 2 ones they're gonna be new, right?
Right, all new, yes. Just the one we're redoing.
Okay.
Then we'll put a garage behind there with, 2 bedrooms above the garage.
Yeah. And the back of that house was like, it's got a lot of wood on there. Was the back of it ripped off or something?
Yeah, yes, we just demolished it already, you know,
Okay.
it was just added on to, it's like a 16 by 16 addition.
Yeah.
It's in really bad shape. Actually, the whole place needs condemned, but, we're just, taking it apart piece by piece.
Yeah, the layout looked really good. I liked it. It was really nice. And,
We're gonna build a master suite and kitchen off the new back there, so.
And that building's been vacant for
Probably.
a number of years, has it not?
Yeah, I'm assuming so. I'm not sure when Judy bought it, so.
It's been at least 5.
I was gonna say,
She-
at least
Yeah, it's
5.
been at least
she
5.
bought it vacant, you know?
Uh-huh.
Right. We're on our 3rd dumpster,
Yeah.
cleaning it out, so we're getting there. But we'll probably, it'll be over 200, I'm sure we'll have in that property alone, just in the house.
I think that's a conservative estimate.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be really nice.
that's my plan.
Don't live down with you.
Mm-hmm.
It all looks, it's really good. It looks really promising. And, she's moving along on the house next to you too.
Yes,
so that's
she
really
is,
good
yeah.
too.
The drywall's already done, they're probably painting by now.
Yeah, that's gonna be really nice.
Yeah, I think she's gonna sell it.
Yeah, I think there's 2 houses up the street about a half block up there under page grant right now. They're starting to.
Oh.
It's really nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
She built that little cottage too behind the house.
Yeah, it's
You've seen it,
nice.
the yellow
Yeah.
and white tan room.
These are the kind of projects we get excited about because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to just,
Yeah.
make Madison beautiful.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
also have a nice place to live,
Right.
So
That's
we-
why I kinda wanna keep one, just so we can come down here and hang out. We're from Seymour, so we
Yeah.
like to come down here for the festivals and,
Yeah,
just to have
it's a
a
nice getaway.
I think so, it'd be great.
You anticipate the finished product here being a single-family residence?
Yes. Yeah, there'll be 2 bedrooms in that, and then there'll be 2 bedrooms in the garage too, so. We might Airbnb the garage separate. We thought about doing that, we haven't really decided on anything yet, so. We just wanna get started, get it going, get all under roof before winter.
This looks really good. I'm good to go ahead and fill out my matrix. Somebody have any questions for me? No. Thank you for applying, okay?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
She'll let you
Appreciate it.
know, and, good luck with it.
Alright, thanks a lot, guys, appreciate it.
Oh, I got the wrong one filled out.
Score sheet's a little different.
Score sheets are score sheets. All right, let's see, where's the next one here? 6:15. The next one here is 107 East Fifth Street. Someone representing that?
Yep. Hi, I'm Dave Patterson.
Okay.
I also purchased a house off of Judy Collar. The house down there is it's an old timber house that was built in 1900, and it looks like it's been vacant, I believe, since 1980. There's no running water to it, no electric at all hooked up to it, no gas or anything right now. So I'm looking to turn it back into a 1900 timber house with a standing seam metal roof, cement board, mahogany doors, half-round gutters, things like that.
As a rule, we don't do roofs unless the roofs are structurally endangering the building, okay?
Okay.
Just let you know, but
Okay.
you were overestimating anyway on your, I got the right one on the, what was your total cost you had down here?
I believe just for the exterior, not the interior, I believe it was 20,000.
2153.
Yes, ma'am, yeah,
Yeah.
20,153. Just for the exterior.
And so this, yeah, max out was 50.
What's on the roof right now is shingles,
Yes.
and of course there's siding,
Yeah.
vinyl siding and all that. So the shingles are coming off, and then whatever structural we need to fix. There was, I believe, maybe 2 chimneys in the house at one time. So we've patched those holes right now just with tarps until we get in to do the,
But without even covering that, 7,500 would be what you could really get, you know, from us, right?
yes.
Half of it.
Yes, sir.
And I don't think that's an issue.
Now,
Yeah.
I think you're good.
I don't think that's an issue at
Other
all
words,
with the budget he's got put
Yeah,
together.
see, you had that down there, then around it'd be 7.5.
Yeah, yeah, but
He's way over.
yeah, he's way over, so,
Yeah.
so that's.
She's, she got that house right next to you that's really, really nice, you know?
Yeah, and that's,
Anyway?
yes, sir, and that's actually how I met Judy. We came down, did a little landscape work for her, and then, I believe, who owned that house at the time was Tom, I can't remember his last name. And he was looking to sell it, and Judy kept pushing me, hey, you gotta buy that. Well, the deal fell through with me and Tom, and then Judy bought it, and then Judy sold it to me right afterwards.
Good, good.
And we cleaned up the outside, exterior, it was 9 to 11 dump truck loads, just getting the outside cleaned up. And like I said, I don't think no one's lived there since at least 1980, and that was what Tom's recollection was. But, yeah, there's no running water, no electric to that house yet.
There was, just curious, was there any water damage from that flooding we had?
The water actually came, I'm not in the floodplain there,
I know,
but I know down at the end of the parking lot, those are floodplain.
yeah,
The water did come up to the foundation, up over that 8-9 inch curb.
yeah,
And Judy said it came right to the bottom of her floor of her little brick house.
yeah.
And then it receded.
So you're gonna live in it, or what are you gonna do?
I might Airbnb it down the road or sell it. I'm not decided yet.
No, it looks like it's gonna be straightforward and gonna be really nice for that little area, because that's probably, is there any more houses down there to fix up? 'Cause the others,
There's somebody
you know,
across
one
the
on the corner.
Yeah, there's one that looks like it burned across the street.
Oh, yeah.
The roof, and
Oh,
they're
okay.
actually they started to work on that, I think,
Oh,
about 3
gosh,
months ago.
That's fantastic, you know,
Yeah.
that's clean up that whole little area.
It's a nice little area, yeah.
Because that whole Mulberry Street's starting to change over, you know, it's starting to look really nice. It's gonna be a wonderful addition to, that area. Does anybody have any more questions for me? I think we're good.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll keep our eyes on it. I love to ride around and look at everybody.
You're skipping the next two, right? Like in NPP?
Yes.
The next we're gonna take is gonna be, 515 East, 2nd Street.
Hello, I'm Kim Taylor, and my husband and I have purchased the property at 515 East 2nd / 309 St. Michael's. It's a house it's, I guess, way back when, was 2 properties that sit on the corner of St. Michael's and East 2nd Street there. And we purchased that for the purpose of housing, or creating another house like Ruth Haven. And Ruth Haven is a transitional home for women, and we have gotten a conditional use permit for that, and we have a triple net lease between ourselves and Ruth Haven, so that that property will be forever in their use until, you know, we have a 15-year mortgage on it, so it will be in that use at least for 15 years. Our project is to make it look like one residence. Right now it looks like, I've been told it used to be a beauty shop or a massage parlor and different things over the years, but we would like to make it one residence, and that would include painting the outside and replacing the siding so that it would all be cohesive. And before we bought it, the owner replaced the roof, but
Is the siding bad?
it's
I looked at it.
multicolored.
Yeah, but is it bad?
It's
It looked
it's
all right.
old, it's very brittle, like, you know, like it gets UV.
Has it got any, is there any crack siding on it? I didn't see any.
On the back, it's bowed out of the house about 1.5 feet at the top, because some wires have pulled it out, and there's some holes around it, but they're on the back side. But on the front side, it's, it's just been repaired, so it's got older with newer styles, so there's no, you know, like you put house wrap underneath it? There's no house wrap underneath that vinyl at all. So you go straight from there to the old,
Does the walls leak inside? I mean, I don't,
no, it does, it's
it looks
pretty
like the
good.
guttering, looks like the guttering was pretty good.
Yes, so the guttering's pretty good,
Reason I'm saying this is because it didn't look like it was in bad shape. When I went by and looked at it, I can understand cosmetically how it really needs to be drawn together with maybe paint or something, but in reality, I was just thinking of you guys and how much money you're gonna put into it, and it didn't look that bad. I mean, I don't know, if you had it evaluated by professional people?
no, but I do quite a bit of work. I
Okay.
mean, that's kind of what I do for life and everything taught on weekends. But so the paint, part of that cost is painting the bricks, right?
Yeah.
So that cost doesn't change. If you painted the vinyl versus put new stuff on, it's probably not gonna save you a lot of money because it'll just go bad after so many years. You'll be changing it out. So if you looked at the cost of whatever the cost was, the storm doors, or the storm doors and stuff, there's not a lot of savings by painting the vinyl, I don't think.
And we don't have any labor included in the budget because that is,
Volunteer?
yes, volunteer labor.
No, it looks like, the doors, you know, the storm doors, they look like they probably are kind of worthless, you know?
They pretty much are. You have to kick them to close them.
Yeah. But it's a really nice project, plus it's a good cause. Good friend Jane Jacobs was really involved with that for years, and, oh my gosh, I love Jane, and so,
Yeah.
sentimental. But that house, that whole building there is kind of like a business, you know, I mean.
It was,
So
it was.
You gonna
and then-
recreate the front of it, or you gonna do something different with those big windows and all that, or?
They're awfully expensive.
That's what I thought.
And people
We
love
love
to
it.
come by and break them, so.
So this is public announcement, you know. that
Yeah.
Anybody would like to donate?
Yes, exactly. We're a nonprofit, we can give you a receipt. But, yeah, I don't think that we will change the front, other than trying to make it look as a cohesive unit.
Yeah. That of course is for people to stay there as they transition back into life again.
Yes, and the conditional use permit that we received is for 10 women, that will live there, plus a house manager or a night manager that stays there. We have 9 women at our house on Presbyterian, and, we probably would never have more than 6 at the house unless in the grand scheme of things, we'd love to, cause it's a U shape and the backyard is all open. We would like to, someday when someone donates a whole lot of money, we would like to build another bathroom and another bedroom, but as of right now, we've just got 2 bedrooms and then a lot of community space, which we'll use, for our programming, for our women.
It's a wonderful project. Do you have anything else to? Like anything? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for the good work, okay?
Well, thank you very much.
Seven, 909, 907, 909 West Second Street.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Lisa Cutshaw. I currently live at 324 Presbyterian, soon to live at 909 West Second once we have running water and air conditioning. But it's not there yet. So we've been working on this we bought the property back at the end of the year last year. It has been vacant for, I couldn't even tell you how long prior to that. Our renovation budget started at about $150,000. It's now up to about $250,000. So this year's been a tough one, but we are seeking some support and help to make those front visible windows aluminum clad instead of vinyl. To keep with the historic nature of the property, and then also there's a lot of brickwork that needed to be repaired. Chimneys needed to be repaired. We plan to live on one side of that. Each side is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and we're gonna live on one side and we'll do a long-term rental on the other.
It's a project. I know. I went by today and looked at it. I go by all the time and look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it's gonna be really pretty when you're done. It's gonna be very nice.
It will be beautiful when it's done.
I know. There's
Yeah.
all those houses down there just, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, just unreal how nice it's gonna be.
It's a nice block down through there.
It is. You got some good neighbors down there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're gonna live in half of it, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are actually deeded as 2 separate units, and there's actually a vacant lot when we purchased it that connects down there to First Street. So eventually, we'd like to have, another property there.
How long have you all owned it?
We purchased that and closed on that in December of 2020.
So, 6 months.
Yeah, we have not owned it very long. We bought it, someone had, the person that we purchased it from, I don't know if they did the work or even prior to them, but, they had started to demolish some of the interior, and we had to finish that demo work though, and everything was, all the appliances were gutted, the plumbing, electrical, that had been all gutted inside. We had cats crawling out of the ceiling, feral cats, we had vultures shooting out the attic, I mean, it was, an adventure to be sure.
How old is the house?
1830s, I wanna say whenever 1840s, I wanna say it was like 1846, I got the historic records, I looked that up, but yeah.
Okay, now, the maximum you can get from us is 7,500.
I know, every little bit helps at this point with all of our lumber costs and construction costs, it's just not anything like we anticipated, so.
No, I think this truly is gonna be another one of those, little jewels that come out of this, taste grant that makes us feel good, you know, because a lot of
Yeah.
times I ride around for the last few years and see what we've done and what we gave it, and oh my gosh, the reward is just unreal.
Yeah.
I hope everybody can appreciate that in town, but, thank you for doing this work, and, does anybody have any more questions?
Appreciate you doing what you're doing.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, thank
we
you.
love it.
We hope you live there a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, thank you so much.
thank you.
Got it. Always make her do the math. You do? I think I screwed up. Let's see. She has to correct me. Let's see. So the next one here is the 1109.
No, it's what's on East Third.
Oh, it's wrong.
Because, it's withdrawn.
So which one we got now?
407 East Third.
407 East 3rd Street.
How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Awesome. So, my name's Gary Leiter, and this is for 407 East Third, and really two things. I bought this property back in 2017 and did a complete redo on the inside. It had sat vacant for, I think, 5 years. Bought it at an auction and redid it, but really didn't focus much on the external part of it. At the time, that neighborhood was really kind of run down, for those of you who's been out on East Third, but if you go there today, it looks really good. I mean, it's outstanding. There's a property next to it that got a PACE grant adjacent to mine.
Looks
It's looking
great.
really good, I'm excited about it. But now, I'm looking at the external part of my building, the paint's chipping off, it's two-tone color. The front of the property, the original steps are starting to really break down pretty bad, so we need to redo those. I'm probably gonna do a lot more on the external than I even put in the grant request. So it's really two things. One is external paint, and the two is just repairing that front step. And I'll probably keep it like it looks today, but I'm gonna have to tear it out and do a complete redo to keep it safe.
You're
So-
going to, take the paint off to do tuck pointing, or just
Yeah,
around
there's
the
gonna
steps, just
be-
around the steps?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
You're just gonna do it just around the steps, or you're gonna do the whole building?
I'm gonna take, the paint is gonna be a complete, scrape off, do some tuck pointing, cause there's some water damage, and then repaint, and then the steps, I'm gonna have to do, probably completely take those steps out and re-pour them, is what I'm gonna have to do.
Yeah, I think you probably will. So I looked at it today and thought, yeah,
Yeah, they're and the ones on the side and rear are pretty bad too, I'm gonna have to take another look
I
at those.
didn't look at those, but the one out front I looked at,
Yeah.
and it's almost dangerous, really.
Yeah, it is. Now, if we can get the old license branch right there on the corner done, then we're
Nice.
then we're good.
Cole, you need to work on that, okay?
Yeah, I know, I'm making a plug right now. If we can get that done, that whole street is like great.
That'd be a wonderful place for condos, don't you think?
It would, yes, I do.
My wife and I talked about it every time we go by there.
I know, I
Starting
know.
to be
I
around
can
the
tell you
corner, they're
some
doing all
stories
those,
too.
so.
I
I know. Well, no, it looks pretty straightforward to me, and I appreciate you coming and applying for it, and good luck on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Does anybody have any?
What, once you've got it completely redone, what are you doing with the property?
Well, that's it. I've got 3 daughters, and they're bringing family in, so, and they're always coming in for all the events. Primarily, it's gonna be, family using it, maybe an Airbnb on the side, but we're still kinda rolling around with it. It's kinda what we're doing.
Residents away from residents.
Exactly. And us, my wife and I live in Sunrise, we've been there 25 years, and we come down. We use the golf cart trail quite a bit, so we'll probably be there on the weekends as well.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're checking this map.
Same. You don't have to total them.
Something like press that dance on it.
You're fine.
The next one is 310.
Go down to 109.
109. Which one, what down? 109 East Main Street.
Oh. Hi there, I
Hi.
am Karen Connolly, with husband Arnold Connolly, both of us own that building, 109 East Main.
And what are you doing with this now? You're,
The scope of the work for this project is the front window that you can see on the top. It's been in there since 1920, 1930s, all rusted out. Initially, our plan was to just have it repaired, and when the quotes came back for the repair, it was almost as much to replace it. We've been working with Brooke back and forth, was to make sure that it's appropriate and it fits the needs of the city, or the history of it, so that definitely increased the cost to do that, to replace it with what would work. So the cost ended up being around $10,000 just to replace the window. So that's the biggest piece of it. The second piece is to paint the front and to replace the awning fabric.
what is, I don't know what you call, what do you call that shingle, what stuff that's on the building?
Yeah, it's metal. We really wanted to remove it.
Is there a brick behind it?
There's either wood or brick. We just assumed wood because the building burnt. It was part of the fire that happened in early 1900s, 1920, 1930. The building caught on fire. I felt like the movie theater next door was part of that fire. So they said at that time in the 30s, they started this metal industrial look, so they put the metal planks in front of it. So I don't know what's behind. I know my husband's done work on the inside, and he's seen the charred residue on the wood. So it's
Reason I ask is
probably all.
because there's probably, since I haven't been doing this long, but there's probably been 3 buildings that people have removed what's in the front of their building
Uh-huh.
and ended up with a gold mine because the brick was still in good shape.
Yeah, in my
It was
mind, there's a
cheaper.
gold mine.
It was-
I've always thought that,
It was
yeah.
cheaper to restore the windows than it was to do all the work to the
Yeah.
facade, you know. I just saying that, cause I saw one of the pipes thinking it had been pried open a little bit, where somebody could look behind it, and I was just curious if you looked behind it, was brick behind it.
Yeah, I couldn't see. Have you? No. But we were told that we were dissuaded from that option. They wanted it to stay metal. So,
I don't know who was down that, but anyway, And the window you're gonna replace, is it the one on the street level, or is it the one up above?
Oh, good question. It's the one above. The one on the street
All
level?
the panes, yeah,
Yeah.
multiple pane, I mean, how many panes are in that thing?
He told us 86.
86 panes?
Yeah.
That's what you're going after, you're trying to replace that?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have to replace the whole thing.
Right,
So, and it's all rusted out, which I didn't know. Like I said, our intent was just to do it ourselves and repair it. And then I said, I can't do this because all the glass shapes are a little different.
yeah.
So then we brought someone in and he said $78,000 to $8,000 just to repair it. And that wouldn't repair all of the rusty part, because it's ready to fall out.
So what are you gonna put in its place?
It's, it has to look just like that. There's a drawing. It's metal or aluminum and, real thick glass, he said.
Okay,
And so Glass Unlimited's been working with Brooke back and forth to make sure that it looks like what we have there now.
yeah, that's good, because it does really need to be repaired.
It
and-
does.
And the awning and downstairs, you're gonna fix the awning too?
Yeah, so the awning is really old, but it works fine, perfectly fine. We just need to replace the canvas.
Okay,
Yes, and then, of course, have the building painted.
yeah,
And then we have to repair that piece as you spoke about, that's bowed out.
yeah.
But we're excited about this project because we've had this building 10 or 11 years and been embarrassed by the building. It's kind of an eyesore, so we're right by the movie theater. People are always out there taking pictures.
Yeah.
And so we're excited that we can, potentially address that.
Now, what's the upstairs, what goes on upstairs? And you
Nothing.
Live there?
Eventually, we would like to have some type of loft there, an apartment loft. Actually, that's my retirement plan. The only concern with the loft idea right now is that, there's only one egress. Because behind us, the movie theater wraps around us. So I'm sure there's a solution for that. But, while the outside's being done, my husband and I have been fixing the second floor. And then potentially the third, but right now we're just working on the second. There was someone that lived on the second before, but it's just,
I'm a big, proponent of fixing anything on Main Street, because I think that's where Madison's bread and butter is. Being a downtown guy, I'm happy that he wants to fix anything on Main Street. So good luck on that project. Does anybody have anything for me? Good. Good.
thank you.
Thank you. Start that again.
Jason's here. Jason's here, so.
Which one is it?
7-11, 7-13. Yeah, Jake's here.
All right, so now we can do, 7-11 and 7-13 East Main Street. Hello.
Evening.
You wanna tell us who you are and what your project is, and tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. The building at 711, 713 East Main is owned by SEI Real Estate, which is myself, Jason Madison, and Terry Crank, who owns Terry's Heating and Cooling. We bought the building from an estate probably, 7 or 8 years ago, maybe more now. Time seems to be slipping by faster and faster. One side was rented when we bought it, not in great shape. The other side was uninhabitable. First thing we did was replace the addition on the back and redo the inside of the building. From what we're trying to work on the outside of the building. The building has been painted over the brick with lead paint, according to the building inspector, who informed me of that many years ago, and it's just been flaking off ever since. And what we'd like to do is remove the paint and tuck point the house and bring it back to brick. That's what we're trying to do.
Okay. Yeah, so the idea is to take it back to brick
Yes, sir.
and then, we did really good, but is there any repair to the porch or anything?
We'd like to repair it, that's part of it, I don't know that it needs to be replaced, but it does need some repair, we're gonna tuck point and do some masonry work as well.
I think you're gonna get some, you're gonna have to go deeper when you get into that porch, I think, when I looked at it. But anyway, you'll get there, and, it looks like a good project, it's a beautiful home.
Yes, if we could bring it back to the brick and get the flaking paint off of it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And with our new entryway from the bridge, it's about the first thing you see, hopefully if you can look past the Victoria Inn.
Right.
Hopefully that's gonna get taken care of.
Someday.
That's at least the first federal brick building that you see.
And the purpose of redoing it is to resell it or
No, we rent it, it's been rented for a long time.
rent it?
Yeah, we have one person that has been renting there ever since we bought it. So we have one long-term renter and one semi-long-term renter.
So is it, I must have missed it, is it one dwelling or is it two?
It's 2 townhouses,
And both of them are rented or?
yes.
Okay,
We own both sides.
right, and you rent both of them, they both been rented for a while?
Yes.
Okay.
One's been rented by the same person since we bought it and renovated it. The other side's been probably about half that long.
Yeah, it really is really nice for the entrance into Madison, that's nice. So when you get it all fixed up, it's gonna be even nicer.
It is the first taste of our architecture for real that you get when you cross the bridge.
It's real nice. Anybody have any questions?
I'm good.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
So we gotta go on the speakerphone now.
Yep. Who do you wanna start with?
Who else on the phone now? I forgot that. Hold up.
Mike
Prickett.
Prickett, who has 2 applications, and then Jim Pruitt, who has a additional application and an amendment.
Who was originally first one? Supposed to be Pruitt.
For an amendment, but the first application's filed over by Mike Prickett.
Oh, on the order of what we're supposed to do tonight. Prickett was first.
Jim was up here.
You have, yeah, Jim has 1 amendment, which was under old business.
Got one down here on this.
He's got a new one at the bottom.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and do Prickett first.
Doesn't matter.
Is that right to go? Okay. S 319 East Main Street? I got the right one.
919.
919 West First Street, right? And 927 West First?
Yes.
Okay.
That's mine.
Hi, Mike, it's Nicole. I've got you on speakerphone with the PACE committee.
Okay.
Mike, you want to tell us a little bit about your project at 919 West First Street? Start with that one.
Okay. I can barely hear, so you have to kind of speak clearly if you can.
All right, we're listening right
Kinda.
now. Okay.
Mike, they just want you to explain your project at 919.
Okay, at 919, I'm going to add on an addition out the back and to the west side. Once I get that addition on, I'm going to remove all the existing siding, window, and doors from the house and put in all new siding, windows, and doors on the exterior. I'm going to use the sun-clad wood, aluminum-clad windows. Same with the patio door on the back, it'll be a sun-clad door. I'm going to use all cedar siding everywhere and just paint it. I feel it's all the stuff you guys like. I think it's the best choice that we have. And that's really about it.
When I looked at the house, it didn't seem like it was in really bad shape. This one here, the 919 one, So the-
Right, yeah, it's not in bad shape at all, no, well, it's just got vinyl siding on it and a vinyl window, and
But the siding,
trying to make it fit into the neighborhood more.
the siding, are you doing this just kind of make it, to upgrade it, to make it look better?
Yeah, I'm just getting rid of the vinyl siding and putting the wood siding on to, you know, make it, like I say, make it fit in a little more.
Yeah, but structurally it's still good, right?
Excuse me?
The building's still structurally good, right?
The building's constructed good, is that what you're saying?
I said it's like, it looks like it's in very good shape.
Oh, the siding is, yes, it is.
Yes, I thought so, thanks. And when you get done, are you just gonna sell it?
Am I gonna what?
Can you talk to him over on the phone?
Yeah. What is your plan after you're done with the project?
I'm going to live there. We're already living there. That's our home now. It'll be my actual address.
Yeah, one quick question. What's the age of that property?
That property's 1971.
1971, so, all right, and the point of my question was it originally a wood siding or originally a vinyl siding on that property?
That I honestly do not know. I own the one down at 923, which is the exact same house, and Charles Hensler built them both at the same time. And it actually has, you know, wood lap siding on and stuff, so, you know, I don't know why he would have done one and then done the other one differently. Charles usually did everything kind of similar, so, but I don't know for sure what it had under it. I just know it has the vinyl on there now.
I understand.
Does anyone else have any questions on this one? We're gonna switch now. We're gonna give us a minute to fill our score sheet out, and then we'll switch to the next house, okay, Mike? You might.
Well, I couldn't hear you clearly there. Can you repeat that, Nicole?
Yeah, show them.
Yes, they're going to go through their scoring sheet on this application, and then they'll move to your next one.
Okay, that'd be fine.
So there'll be just a delay, but we haven't lost you yet.
Okay, sounds good.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah, 27.
Alright, Mike, will you describe your project at 927 West First?
Yep, 927, it's kind of the same deal. It has vinyl siding on it and vinyl windows that are in very bad shape. That house is, the siding's in bad shape, the windows are in bad shape, and the front door is probably standing open as we speak. But I'm gonna do the same thing there. We already re-shingled it, got a new shingle roof on it. We're just repairing the chimney. We're gonna re-tuck point, redo it, take all that vinyl siding off of it, put on the cedar lap siding. Same thing there, the sun clad, aluminum clad windows that I sell. I'm gonna put them in there, and then the new doors that I picked up through the historic board to go on the front. And then we're gonna build just a small little covered porch. I guess you would call it that. I'm sure there's a fancy name that Nicole probably knows. I provided a picture with the storage board to put just that little porch over the front door there. It's just, to give it a little bit of character since it does sit right on the sidewalk.
Do you have any idea of the age of that property?
I believe it's the late 1800s is what somebody had told me. It has an actual stone foundation and stuff on it, but I've heard 1890 something. Somebody told me once. I'm not 100% positive of that.
That sounds reasonable, given the lower section there.
Is this? Ask me if this is the one that has the deck on the back of it now.
Mike, does this one have a deck on the back?
Yes, it does. It has a covered deck.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, okay, I don't know, and, what's the purpose of this one for?
What are you going to do with this building after you complete this project?
It'll be a rental, more than likely an Airbnb.
Okay. May I say anything? We're good. Gary, you good?
I have any questions?
Jim?
I'm good.
Tony, we're good, we'll get back.
Okay, Mike, that completes, your 2 applications. You will hear from me next week, regarding whether your applications were approved or not.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
We got left now is,
You have Jim Pruitt, 1 amendment and 1 application.
and it's a rehab too.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, 310.
Jefferson Street.
Jim Pruitt.
Hey Jim, it's Nicole. I've got you on speakerphone at the PACE committee meeting.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Jim. Jim, you want to go, let's go through your amendment first that you want to do at 306 West Jefferson.
Yes. So what, 306 Jefferson Street, when we originally bought that building, if you recall, the back end had fallen out of it. When we applied for the base grant, the dilapidated building grant was not in place, but it came into place between the time I made my application and the time we had the first meeting. We thought, well, we'll just go ahead with it. But then when we started working on it, the building was much worse condition than what we thought. We've had to do a lot more work on it. We believe it was the water from drainage that just deteriorated the foundation for the chimney in the back of the building, and all the weight of the chimney from the 2 stories or the fireplaces collapsed that into the basement. So we had to start at the bottom and poured a concrete floor, repaired that wall in the back, poured some concrete there, and then we had to build not only an exterior wall, but we had to build an interior wall from the basement to hold the first floor to hold the second floor. So had to do an extensive amount of work there. So what we think that is happening here is that drainage, so according to the contractor, everything's best. There was previously a shed type roof addition. The concrete is still there. We'd like to put that shed type addition on the back, and it'll basically be using the east wall of this building. The north wall will be now the exterior wall will be the interior of the shed wall, and then the other one is the building at 304 that I own. So just putting a shed wall, and then that east wall would be basically a wall of windows from floor to ceiling, black commercial hardware on the back that would match the front hardware we're putting on. So basically what we'd like to do is ask for the difference between the $25,000 and what we were granted. I think half of what our original was, which would be about another $15,200, and that's going to be cost of the addition. And to let's see, what's the other part of this one is 306. Let me go to that addendum. I had it marked, and then I got out of the truck and sitting in the parking lot. Okay, so there's 4 windows, and then in the front of that building to be replaced,
This is 306.
and then that addition on that shed type addition on the back.
So what's the difference in the amount of money he's asking for now versus the original?
Jim, do you have the difference in, the?
Yeah, it's about, I was awarded $9,700 and some odd dollars, 9731, so it'll be about, $15,270 approximately. And that doesn't get me even to getting on the inside of the building yet, really.
Jim, what's your project budget for this portion of the project?
Well, that addition would be $16,000, and that would just be building the shell of it. That doesn't include drywall or electrical or HVAC. So that's just $16,000 for that shed type roof. And then there was the 6231 for some windows on the back there, 4 windows on the back of that building. So it'd be basically, we've discussed 2 or 3 things, but what makes the most economical sense, and I think the best look, and it gets rid of all the vinyl siding on the first floor, they'll be previously was approved to put vinyl on the back of that building since we had to go up with a stud wall. And so that'll delete the vinyl on the back of the first floor, and it will be, we were looking at maybe 4 casement type windows, but now it's going to be commercial hardware, black aluminum frame with glass from floor to ceiling basically. And there's a step up there of about 2 feet that the ground is higher, so there's a retaining wall built. So there'll be a black commercial hardware door and then the black commercial window framing for that back wall.
Without having the other original, was it a rehabilitation first?
The original application is on the podium in front of you, Bill.
And is it a rehabilitation?
No, so he, at the time, he adjusted just what he could to, hit the dilapidated structures grant. Like he said, he submitted his application at the time that we were amending the program, and he was not able to amend his application before the meeting to add this additional stuff. But he had previously put in a total project of over $19,000, so we adjusted his grant amount up to match 50%.
Okay, so now, his total here was gonna be $16,000 more, which would be $8,000.
Well, it'd be another 22,000 on this project, so it's 16 plus 62, 31, 14, so it's another 22,231. So basically we're asking for, about 50, well, just a minute here. Where's my math wrong here? I know what we did was, to get the other 15,000. Well, that was just additional work, and then our other additional work that we did that we didn't get the 50% match on the 25. We just got matched up to. So that's 19 and 22.
What percentage is he on?
Well,
there's different scoring for like 75% or 50% or whatever.
He would be in the 75% category.
So how much does the total project cost?
You have my
I'm having a
sheets.
hard time keeping up with what he's talking about. Is it on here, all the stuff he's talking about right now?
Yes.
I got a thing that says $7,223. I got $4,800.
basically, I think we put, between the first and the second one, we'll have over the 50 grand to get the 25 total matches, basically what we're asking for.
What do you ask for originally?
Was 9,000, was this amount. So that's the current grant, yeah, so it's $9,031. He's asking for an additional $11,115.75.
That all fall under.
And where's the money that it's costing him total?
Total is the 22, for this additional work, is 22,231.14.
And that does not include this 97 or does?
No, so his original grant application had $19,463.
That 19,000, those all fell under our
dilapidated, yes.
So.
Yeah, but with the work that we had to do on that first one, we'll put that over 50 grand.
So it'll be up to you to decide what to add to his project, keeping in mind that we don't typically pay for new construction.
Right. Okay, so I'm kind of coping with what we need to do here because of
So do
the
we
way
have-
it's being presented, you know?
Do we have,
Construction.
what we need are the numbers of what's new construction that's being spent on this project.
I took the new construction out on the sticky note,
Here.
so that only would include the windows on that proposal.
And that proposal is like 22,000?
This is the amendment.
So.
Yes,
what-
that's the amendment.
the 3,000 we need to approve, or we should consider.
So that's the
approving.
only portion that actually qualifies
Under the current guidelines,
under the
yes.
current guidelines.
So we would be approving this one here.
Yeah.
So this is what we're gonna go for, the 3115, is that? On
Would
the
be
little
the
posted note
grant
that you had
amount,
there?
the additional grant amount.
Is that what it is?
If you only approve the windows, yes.
Right. Okay, so, does somebody wanna make a motion on that? Is that what we wanna do, or do we wanna?
Well,
Go
it's the
for all
only
of it.
thing that's the only thing that falls under, the
Under
rest
the
of it's
guidelines,
new.
Under the other one?
Yeah, so that's preservation, falls under
Yeah.
preserving. The rest of it's new, so
All
we
right,
can't do
so-
that.
But Jim, this doesn't get
What's
a
that?
matrix filled out, this just gets a yes, no vote on this. So we're discussing, looking at the numbers, trying to find out what exactly it's gonna cost the board to go on with the next level here, with your notes you have here. And we're only gonna be able to pay for the windows and stuff, we're not gonna be able to pay for the new construction.
Jim, did you hear that?
No, I did not. I couldn't hear him very well.
Okay, what Bill is saying is that they're looking at your packet, and the guidelines don't currently allow them to pay for new construction. So in your amendment, the only thing they could fund is the windows portion.
Okay, but there was an addition there previously, so it would just be rebuilding it back.
I don't understand.
He said that
It was there previously.
there was an addition, they took it down, so his new construction is rebuilding a previous addition. That's,
On the same foundation.
Is this, Jim, this is the one with all the bricks piled out behind it where the back's gone?
Yes.
Guys, what do you think? I'm okay with the windows, cause that's what we do. What's really in the way of that? Somebody wants the gray area, all right?
And like I said in my first meeting, I wouldn't be doing this project if it wasn't next door to me because it's an animal.
Do we want?
Do the demolition.
There he did.
He did. Under
Jim,
our
did you do
grant.
did you do the demolition under the other grant, or was this the?
No, it was already down.
It was already down. It was already falling down when they. If I remember right, you didn't own that at the beginning, did you?
No, I was just, I was contracted to buy it. Yeah, contracted to buy it and we were waiting to close because there was a legal matter with the real estate.
Do we know how old the previous structure was, like,
the addition?
yes,
I didn't know there was addition back there, so. Jim, do you know what age that addition was?
I'm gonna say 80 to 100 years old. Yes.
Okay, so we probably need to make a recommendation to move on here, but the only recommendation I can think of right now is to go ahead and just approve the windows. What Nicole has got listed on that 6,000 something, you know? What do you think? Do we need to go ahead?
Well, I think the question is though, when you look on here, if it's old historically, does that, it's the preservation of
What?
architecture. To me, it's question, like, the question is it preserving the original architecture? If that original structure was there on the back, and he's putting that back on there,
Like it was?
like it was,
Then we'd be
and it
okay with
wasn't a new addition, if it's over,
We'd be okay with it then?
I feel like.
So
I mean,
Jim,
I'd
are you
love for
gonna?
somebody to put my building back to
you're-
what it was.
You're gonna take all the old bricks, you're gonna put it back together exactly like like it was originally in the back?
No, no, we built a frame wall. That, if you recall from the first base grant meeting, we built a frame wall in that addition in the back. That was the only way that was even halfway affordable to do. There's no way you could build a brick wall up there and even do this project. It cost more than what the building's worth. So the only way that made it halfway affordable was to build a frame wall in the back of that building, which would be on the east side. And then there was approval to cover it with vinyl at that point. So what we're asking to do now is take away that vinyl on the first floor, add that shed type roof addition, and we'll have a glass enclosure at the back, and then there will only be vinyl. The shed roof will have a pitch to it, so there will be less than half the vinyl applied to that upper shed, or that upper studded up wall
Hey, Jim,
exterior
our question
on the
is,
second level.
what we're struggling with right now is from the grant point of view, in order to pay for that rebuilding and all that stuff, it would have to go back to the original look. And you're saying you can't do that because it'd been impossible. It'd be too expensive.
Whoa, okay, no, I thought you meant on the back of the original building. I don't know what the original, the shed roof was probably a metal roof, and probably corrugated or something like that, don't know. And you can see where the roof was attached to the other two buildings. You can see that exactly what the pitch was, but I don't know what the exterior surface of the back of the addition was. I don't know if it was wood siding. It doesn't appear that it was brick. So we're just gonna put glass from there is about a 2-foot step up or a retaining wall that would be the east wall. So as you walked out of the back of the building, you would have to step up about 2 steps to get onto the ground level. So those windows would not start at the floor inside the building. They would start about 2 foot up in the air, and then it would just be that black commercial hardware with tempered glass.
It's a healthy project like that. And whatever we do, it's not gonna make, it'll still be pretty expensive to get this back. I'm trying to do what's right, but I'm not sure how to work it, how to put it together. So we want to just go ahead and say yes to the total package. Huh?
I mean, I don't know,
I'm not even sure how we would just chop it all up together so many different ways, and I'm having a hard time understanding what the work would be to put it into a motion.
Are you still there?
we're here.
We're trying to figure it out, Jim.
Okay, all right.
We're
There's a lot of static on this end. We've had poor cell coverage.
Could have been a year ago.
Can we approve? Can you come back and more if we
Yeah,
can get a clear picture on?
I don't know if I put it again.
Well, when you look at the scoring, now granted, this is.
What, is that a
the wrong
rehab or is
sh-
that a
This is the wrong
demolition?
sheet for going on the dilapidation.
Yeah, we need a dilapidated.
Do you have a
There you go.
dilapidated score sheet?
There you go.
Here's the dilapidated score sheet. Another one here.
So Jim, they're looking at the dilapidated score sheet and just discussing your project.
Okay, all right.
Too bad you couldn't be here, Jim. You probably could explain it to us, couldn't you? So the verbiage, so.
I think it's still, it's,
That's the question right there.
right.
What's the question?
Project preserve any original architectural features which remain.
No, you can't do that. Can't do that. So that leaves us back to where we
So
were.
I think it puts us back.
to
We approve this 3115.
Nicole, I'm not sure, but we can't find a way to get to where he wants us to be, looking at our dilapidated structure. I mean, all we got to go with is these pictures, which is the total demolished building. And so we can't really give him the pictures that he needs for that. We can give him all he needs as far as the windows and all that stuff, put new windows in and all that. But as far as the restructuring of that building in a new way, from our point of view, we can't really do that.
Since there's not a written policy on amendments, this entire discussion is completely up to you four.
Okay. So what do you think?
I guess I wasn't aware that rebuilding a prior structure would be a question. I mean, there's gonna be, it's a dilapidated building, so interior work qualifies, so if we need to amend it again, if that's a question, thought that would be the easiest way to do that, but if we need to amend this and come up with what you know, other things are gonna be for the inside, but, because there's still lots of money to be spent on the interior of this building.
Jim, I think our real concern here is that the part of the point here is preserving the original architecture. And at this stage of the game, it doesn't sound to me like, or to any of us, like your construction is preserving original architecture, but rather building a new piece of architecture onto the backside.
Right. So here's when that shed type roof was off there, it allowed the water to pool on the old concrete floors, and that's what deteriorated the structure in the first place. So that not having that shed type roof there for a while is what really made the building fall down. So that's what really the only reason that I wasn't planning on putting that shed type roof back there, but after the contractor got in there and found what the problem was, he said, you need to put that shed type roof back on there to eliminate this water problem.
The only thing I can think of is that, what's our third grant? We have a, what do you call it?
A demolition grant.
Dangerous building grant.
Well, it's a demolition grant.
Demolition grant.
The demolition
Does
grant
that
is
play
only
in
for
here?
entire structures.
So the house that we okayed on,
That was
on Walnut and on West and all that had the half building fall off.
Those are both dilapidated structure grants, because you can apply for demolition and rebuild.
And what I'm trying to think my way through this is that what Jim is doing in this building is the same thing that they're doing with their buildings, isn't it? In other words, they're not gonna put these buildings back exactly the way they were because they can't, it's gone. And so we okayed their grants to do this, you follow what I'm saying?
We okayed for them to demolish the
Demolish the back
existing
half of it
and
and
rebuild.
it. And that's the same thing that he's done with this building is he didn't have to demolish. It fell apart, it fell down. So, what I'm thinking is that, I don't see any difference. I don't see any difference in this and, what we did for West Street for, Mulberry. For Walnut. We okayed all three of those, and they were, the same, well, I don't know if there was a different, is there a different, matrix for those buildings?
No, that's
They
this
fell
one
under
right
the
here.
dilapidated structures.
That's what we're looking at right
matrix.
here, right?
Yes.
And so we okayed all that, and we were willing, we were able to give up to 25,000 they needed to get started.
Yes.
And I think Jim was way beyond getting started on these, and, I don't know, I feel like we ought to go ahead and make a recommendation to go ahead and okay this, say yes to this. That's my feeling, but I need someone to make that recommendation, someone to second that. And if we don't wanna do that, then we need to make another recommendation as to what we want. But to me, I see no difference in this pile of bricks and then these buildings that burnt out the back of them and we had to redo them.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, we're good. All right, Jim, we okayed it.
All right.
Now,
Appreciate it.
now we're gonna go on to
Okay.
the other one with, hopefully it's not gonna be as intense as this, but we're gonna move on to, what is the other one? 306. 310 Jefferson Street. Or 304 Jefferson.
No.
310.
310.
310. That's
Yep.
it.
Are you ready?
Yes, ready.
All right, what I want to do on that is just basically, we've got the inside of the building started cleaned up. That was Spence Snyder's office for many, many years, as y'all probably recall. Before that, I think it was taxi service. We just took the antenna down that many of you probably had seen driving up Jefferson Street. There was a crooked antenna in a mulberry tree, so that's all down. But what we wanted to do is replace the front windows on the front of this building as the same as we're going to use on 306 Jefferson Street. The two buildings at 304 and 306 that I own are identical, and then the 308 and 310 are identical. I do not own 308 at this point. But with the different size windows, we'll be putting 9/9 on 306 Jefferson. We'll probably do, since these windows are smaller, I think it would look better to do 6/6. And these current windows that are installed are not original. They are wood windows, but they are not original. We would install wood shutters on shutter dogs, just like we are approved for 306. Put black commercial hardware, entry door. It currently has a steel residential type entry door that's allowed the water to come inside and rot the floor out. And then we'll paint the trim black, and basically what my goal is to make the buildings that I own on Jefferson Street, 304, 306. 304 is going to need a lot of work, but 306 and 310 look very similar. If I'm in a position to get 308 at some point, then we would make it match the same way.
And all it's been historically a board approved, right?
He has not been before historic board, no.
Okay. So, he'd have to do that, wouldn't he?
Yes.
Do you-
I've made application.
Okay. So this one here is straightforward, it looks like,
Yeah.
so I don't have a whole lot of problems with this. And this building, when you get done, Jim's gonna just be used for commercial business? Or you gonna-
Yes, it will be for lease for a commercial business downtown.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on this one? Here, Jim? Nobody? All right, that's pretty straightforward. This is the way we like to see them here, Jim. And,
Yeah, I know, this is an easy one. Hey, the other building's harder to work on too.
Yeah, I understand. It's hard for us to decide to try to stay within the realm of what we got to work with and make sure we're not
Yep, sure.
setting a precedent
Sure.
somewhere. So, no, this looks good, so we'll go ahead and fill out the score sheet, and Nicole, getting back with you next week, okay?
Okay,
All right,
that
thank you.
sounds great.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, guys. All right, you guys have a great evening. Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
It's all wrong if it rains quick. I'm not sure which one.
guess we gotta get all your stuff back together again, and we got it all mixed up.
That's okay.
Are you sure? You be able to figure it out?
Yeah.
All right.
It all goes in the folder and I probably most likely will never look at it again.
I don't know. You might come back and make another amendment next time.
3, 4, 3, 10, that's our jacket. That should be it.
Yeah, that's it. What's this one here?
I've got them on digital too.
This
so-
is,
That's part of Jim's.
that's part of Jim's. That's part of it, I think.
Okay.
That's it. All right. That whole block, he's gonna have the whole block ready. Does he already own the castle building looking at there?
No.
No.
I don't think. One of those buildings used to be a bakery and ice cream shop. Yeah, Smith's.
That was down where he is now.
I lose track of which one was which.
Street from the corner.
Yeah, Smith's was.
I know the castle building, my older daughter took tap dancing lessons in the top floor of that ground part of that building.
Ready for scoring?
We're ready. Tell us what's the minimum?
I will say that when I go through them.
Okay.
So the first application, 711, 713 East Main Street, minimum score is 30. They received a score of 41. 1026 West Main, minimum score is 30. They scored 35.75. 1010 West Main, minimum score is 30. They scored 40.5. 615 Mulberry Street, minimum score is 28. He scored 37.5. 107 East 5th Street, minimum score is 30. They received a score of 42. 919 West 1st Street, minimum score is 30. They scored 30.5. 927 West 1st Street, minimum score is 30. That one scored 35.5. 515 East 2nd Street, minimum score is 30. They received a score of 31. 907, 909 West 2nd Street, minimum score 30. They received a score of 43. 407 East 3rd Street, minimum score 30. Received a score of 36.5. And then our two additional applications, 310 Jefferson Street, minimum score 30, received a score of 38.75. And 109 East Main Street, minimum score of 30, received 31.5.
So they all met the minimum, right?
Yes.
Now, as far as the money we have you told that up yet?
Yes. So the amount, we have available does not include the, subtraction from John Shearing's or the addition from Jim Pruitt's, cause I have not been able to, put that in, but, the request, total is $91,314, if all approved.
Someone will make a motion that we approve all that met the minimum.
I'll move.
Jim's making a motion that we approve all the stores that met the minimum.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So,
Okay, I will take that recommendation to Board of Works on Monday.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Do we have other business right now that we have,
I don't, unless you all have anything.
we wanna go back over all the amendment kind of procedures? No, I'm just kidding.
You guys might wanna leave for this one.
Doesn't matter to me.
No, not tonight.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Need a second.
I'll second.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Appreciate everything.
Good
you
luck,
guys
good
do.
luck with your projects.
Thank you.
I kinda felt like we were doing the same thing. Yeah, we did.
I don't know if I really wanna be on this side or this side. After 15 years on this side, I thought, boy, this would be nice out here.
You probably wanna be back here.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an opening here soon.
Gary-
Okay, one more
Gary,
year.
do I recall that you worked at the state hospital for a few years?
A few years.
A few
Well,
years.
It's 39, 29 and 9 months,
That's what I thought.
and I got May 30.
That's what I thought. What has become of your brother, Andy?
He's in Evansville. He retired from school system. I was on the school board.
Mm-hmm.